In finishing up the assumptions and definitions that the broad assumptions that economists make in order to be able to model markets and firms, etc., are these last two. And the first one is, again, pertains to rational thinking, okay? Thinking on the margin in particular. Economists assume that rational individuals will consume or take on an activity as long as the marginal benefit of that activity is at least as large as the marginal cost. Think of it this way. Remember, marginal benefit decreases the more of something we do or the more of something we consume. Now, if you think about it like this, so a candy bar costs $1. We consume the first candy bar and we get a certain amount of enjoyment out of that. Well, because we consume that candy bar, it must be the case that we got at least $1 worth of enjoyment out of that candy bar. Now, let's assume that we're considering purchasing a second candy bar. The first one was very satisfying, but it didn't completely satisfy us. We're still craving a candy bar. The calculation a rational individual makes then is they try to forecast the amount of satisfaction they'll get from that second candy bar. If they forecast that they're going to get more than $1 worth of satisfaction out of that candy bar, or at least $1 worth of satisfaction out of that candy bar, you will go ahead and purchase that candy bar. However, if you think you're only going to get 75 cents worth of satisfaction out of that candy bar, then the cost of that candy bar, which is $1, is not in fact less than or equal to the benefit of that candy bar, which you project as being 75 cents. In other words, you will not buy that second candy bar because the marginal benefit isn't at least as much as the cost of that candy bar. And finally, this last assumption we make, it almost seems like a no-brainer. Economic agents respond to incentives. But you got to realize this is very important. Think definitions ago about micro and macroeconomics. Remember, one of the things we had in the definitions of macroeconomics was the policies that affect each. Well, this has everything to do with policy. Okay, if economic agents didn't respond to incentives, then there would be no need to offer public university education at reduced tuition rates. There would be no need to increase sales taxes on cigarettes in order to promote the reduction of smoking. There would be no need for incentivizing individuals to do anything. Okay, so economic agents respond to incentives is extremely important because this determines not only what policy we implement given the objective, but it also allows us to think about what the ramifications of a particular policy may have on individuals and markets. So the fact that we make the assumption economic agents respond to incentives is vitally important to the discipline of economics and analyzing policy in economic areas.